you and I just did we just did a reaction to Jeff Beck, and where that song we were talking about space. You know,
Right, right. Right.
space is okay. Simplistic,
Space and
simplicity is
silence. Yes.
good. Silence is okay. Put that in here and there. Um, it's just undervalued, in today's
Right.
society. So yeah,
It's hard when you that's what you used to growing up. It's like if someone took the TV away from us when we were kids. That was punishment back
yeah,
then. That was one of the ways that that parents would get us to do something or stop doing something is no TV for you,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's kind of like this what you're talking about with your sons. It's the modern equivalent, although
True.
there's more of it, and to get away from it is harder. We have so many different. You had to have it coming from us in so many different ways, but it just it's constant bombardment.
You can't get around. Yeah, just can't get away from it. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Into the Music, and I'm here with Chris. Chris, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing, Greg?
Good. So you got something for me tonight?
Of course I do. I got something real good. I got some more talking heads for you. It's a song called Television Man. And we've done one talking heads song so far. I hope you didn't hear this yet. Maybe you did.
I don't know if you saw my face. It was like all scrunched up. Like, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Of course, I keep saying that, but of course I wouldn't.
Just bring the bar down a little bit. Yeah. If it's anything like that first talking head song that I listened to, then we're gonna be
It's
just
a very okay. It's a
just
different type of song, but I
at
think
Stan
you're gonna
Laurel
like it.
just fine.
Okay. Okay.
Wow, they look really young. Is this like their first album or from their first album? They look like super, super young.
I'm looking and I'm dreaming for the first time, and I'm inside and I'm outside at the same time, and everything is real. Do I like the way I feel when the world crashes in into my living room? Television made me what I am.
I love that bass down, and the drums, while doesn't sound so complex, whatever, it's just the sound of the drums. I mean, they have the mics like right up against the drums, whatever, just getting such a clear, beautiful sound. So
People like to put the television down.
that
We
bass,
are just good friends. I'm a television man. Yes, Schwarzenegger, Allison.
I mean, you can expect almost with every Talking Head song, just real top-notch production. The sounds that they get, that they bring in into these songs, what is that? Some sort of synthesizer or something, but that's cool. With the bongos going and just cool transition. What is that? It's like a bell, like oh, top bells. That, bow. Oh, that bass, the bass. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. And
All right.
that,
I hope you got some good news for me.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, cool, cool.
So
You never
here's the
know.
thing.
You never
So
know.
so here's the thing, right? That song, it was nice. It was nice in the beginning. It was nice, and I was like, this is cool.
That's
This is cool. This
I
is
never
nice.
like hearing that word about a song. It was nice.
So how was the boyfriend, that she brought home? He was nice. But anyway, I don't know where I pulled that one out of. But it
That
was
means you're
going.
going to hear the real story a little later on.
Yeah, yeah, right. How could you bring that guy into this house? So the song was actually it was good. It was good. It was typical Talking Heads, and that bass was kick ass. I mean, he just kept on like just hitting that one ding ding, ding. It was almost like he was taking the string and just like coming up here and just slap down. It
Mm.
was really it that stuck out. Um, and then then there was a transition, and there was guitar, and the guitar sounded great, and the song got more interesting, more. It just got better, and not that it was bad, but it just
Mm.
got better and better and better, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm actually really, really liking this song a lot." The bongo thing that was going on there, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wasn't really listening to at some point because I'm totally into the music, totally into the instrumentation, that I'm
Mhm.
like, "Duh, duh," again, like I'm not really listening to the words, and it
Right.
sounded and I was going like that a little bit in my head. I didn't do that in the reaction, but in my head, I'm going, because it sounded like he was saying something that was interesting, and
Yeah.
I should be listening to that,
I could touch on that a bit.
And then there was one thing, and then that's kind of like I wonder um, that at some point, I don't know if it was towards the end, like the middle of the song, I thought he kind of let out a ha 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 or something that was similar to that song. That song that actually was a big hit for them in the '80s, and she was. Doesn't he like? Yeah, hey 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 hey. And so I think
Yeah,
in this
right.
song, he comes out with something that was very similar to that. And there was something else in the song that also reminded me of this, and she was. So I found that really interesting.
I know
I'm
the
not saying that like they libeled. I mean they libeled. Yeah, I guess that they like
I
they
know the part you're
copyrighted themselves or something like that. They could
I
do
know the
whatever they
part
want.
you I know the
Yeah,
part you're talking about with the he haha, you know.
yeah.
It was a slightly different sound, but it only went on. It didn't go on for long at all. And
No,
this,
yeah. It was
but he
very
was making.
right.
That's one of the things about David Byrne is
Yeah,
that I like is that he'll just make these vocal noises that you don't really hear anybody else doing,
right.
and so it's always kind of it might sound goofy, but it's at times, but it's unique. It's original,
But
and we're
but
doing that in this
in
quite a bit.
and she was that's
Yeah,
actually a really big part of the song, right? And so I'm just
yeah,
wondering if it was just subconsciously when he was writing that one, and she was that thing just
right.
came like from just boom, and it just came.
Well, they're both from the same album, both songs.
Oh,
So
oh,
when you're looking at the picture in the video, um, the whoever posted the video made a comment that I know it's an older picture of them, but kind of deal
oh,
with it.
1985. Okay, so this is on.
Yeah, but it was a
Is this the
real much
breakout
older.
album of theirs? Like that, like put them on the map with everyone. I know you were on the map with them already, but Talking Heads, wasn't there that one album in the '80s, and then there was and then they put out a few more, but where they just they became like a household name, like everyone
I
knew.
would I would think it was on that from I would think when Burning Down the House came out was really when they
What
came
album is
for a
that one?
household name. That's Speaking in Tongues, which was the one right before this one.
Okay,
So that's one of the things about them is each album has its own particular sound,
yeah,
very different. And so this was the name of the album that this was on is called Little Creatures, and it came out in 1985, as you mentioned, and I think it's their sixth studio album.
yeah.
Okay, and one of the things I liked about it was talking about the television. Now, this was 80, came out in 85. This was pre-internet, as we know the internet now.
Yeah,
We didn't. Who had PCs even in 85, right?
no, no.
So I kind of look at it as a lot of the
I was playing Pong in 1985.
Atari, right? Songwriter David Byrne's
Yeah,
take on television. I was reading it at the time because I was talking heads not so I'd always read a lot of the reviews when
yeah,
stuff came out, and he was always ambivalent about television. He thought it was a great thing, and he understood the power of it, and
yeah,
especially for the baby boomer generation,
hmm
it was huge.
yeah,
And I would say
yeah,
it was the equivalent of what we have now, with what the internet is now.
yeah,
As far as the internet goes, I think most people are ambivalent about that too. It's got its good parts, it's got its bad parts.
yeah.
Now, uh, I like the line like the world crashes into my living room. That's it. That's
Mm.
coming through your TV. Trying to think of what else. Television made me what I am. Yeah, television has a huge influence on us.
It does,
Or-
but you're right though, because now it's being kind of replaced by the
Right, which
the smartphones and all that, because that's kind
yeah,
of the TV back then was like
yeah.
we were on that,
And I think
yeah,
so. The common thread they have really is the graphic image. It's all visual.
Yeah.
And that's to me, that's the influence. It almost compared to what you can read or what you can hear on on the internet or hear on TV. It's the visual image that really has us. You can watch a bunch of images and turn the sound down, and it's still going to impact you.
Yeah.
So that is the huge.
That's true.
That's what makes it such a huge influence. So we're so visual anyway. Our visual cortex is takes up a huge part of our brain. So that's where the impact is. And so I was thinking about this, and just you figure the generation before the baby boomers, okay, they had TVs, but it wasn't anything like when we
No.
were growing up. And
Yeah.
we're at I'm at the very tail end of the baby boomer generation. You're off by a couple of years, I think, but basically the same group.
Yeah.
Where we were. In fact, there's another Talking Head song where the first line is, "I was born in a house with the television always on."
Mm.
So that we always had TV.
Yeah.
It was our babysitter. It was our entertainment.
Yeah.
And just and for good or bad, it's a double-edged
Yeah.
sword.
It is. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's related somewhat. I mean, it's like a constant battle with my sons. When we get to the dinner table and they have their phones
Yeah.
on music, and they have their little speakers, and then plop,
Yeah.
they put it down, and they forget that we had a battle just the night before on it, saying, no music at the table, but they just still do it. And they're just like glued, they're just, they're just totally, it's constant. They have to have music on when they're doing their homework, constant music on, and it sort of makes me nervous, that they're so dependent on this sort of, I guess there's white noise, and I guess that's because if it's just white noise, then if you feel better knowing that there's something in the room, and it just makes you feel more. Some people just feel more
Like there has to be something always
at
going on.
ease, and it allows them to, but if you're distracted by what the voice is saying or singing, then it's and I think that's so prevalent right now in our society today, just to always have, voices booming out of the smartphones and out of speakers and out of, it's constant, sometimes, you and I just did a reaction to Jeff Beck, and where that song, we were talking about space.
Right.
Space is okay. Simplistic,
Space and
simplicity is
silence,
good.
yes.
Silence is okay. Put that in here and there. It's just undervalued, in today's society. So yeah,
It's hard when you that's what you used to growing up. It's like if someone took the TV away from us when we were kids. That was a punishment back then.
Yeah.
That was one of the ways that that parents would get us to do something or stop doing something is no TV for you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of like this, what you're talking about with your sons, it's the modern equivalent. Although
True.
there's more of it, and to get away from it is harder. We have so many different, you had to have it coming from us in so many different ways, but it's constant bombardment.
You can't get around. Yeah, just can't get away from it. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine how it can get any more intense. How would that happen? How would that be?
Yeah.
Of course, I can't imagine it. But if I imagined it, I would be inventing it. But how much more outside stimulation can we get?
Yeah, really, really good song. That's actually going to go on my playlist, my personal playlist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that by how you started this, because you said it was a nice song.
Well, sometimes you start with nice,
Yeah.
and then nice becomes
But
now
you
very
can,
good and great. Okay. Take care, Chris. Have a good night, and
All
everyone,
right, Greg.
we'll see you next time.
All right.